Okay, everything should be recording fine. Synchron. Okay. Now, hi everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the video Being a Researcher, in brackets, in the fields IT, it is information technology, algorithmics, and mathematics, here intended as specifically applied mathematics. But also others clearly may find this video at least interesting. Okay. I won't make this second part too long, because it's also the heavier part, and in fact I start with a preamble, a foreword, which anyway should be considered carefully. The things that the few things, 4 or 5 things, or just, okay, 3, 4 things that I will outline here may, in my interpretation, in my exposition, may have a certain negative drive as viewed from the point of view of many others. I wanted to warn about this because I really can't do anything about it, because I have the prejudices of the effect on this video of my prejudices that in the years I acquired about the topics here discussed, and so I just want to say, just if something sounds too negative, just take it easy. Consider it. So, if something seems too negative, knowing anyway that hopefully you will be hearing in the future, or have heard in the past, accounts of other people operating in these research areas, try to detect just if there is, in my exposition, in my commentary, a bias towards negativity, or to use an expression more typical of the research area, try to detect that there is a calibration problem with the instrument of measurement, and to be confident that sooner or later a new, better calibrated, more precise, and even maybe more accurate instrument of measurement will be acquired, which won't have this calibration problem that is biased towards higher than expected value or lower within its precision, capabilities, and accuracy. Okay. Even though consider that I know that my account on this topic is one of the first to be made. I really haven't heard, even having searched much about this topic, so even being confident within a certain percentage that it's not only one about this one is not the only account so far made by a human being on this topic, but it's one of the first. In fact, we are taking advantage of the now more than decimal more than a decade, advent full coming of age of the fantastic technology of internet, which allows to share very important information and do many other good things. Okay. The next point, according to where we stopped in part 1, is this. Okay, had then started to speak about the possible social problems, social misinterpretations, and the situation of social discomfort from mid to also severe when one is a researcher and tries to speak with others, tries to share his passion for a subject, his way of seeing it, of proposing so ways of going about a solution which has not been tried before, or which is not usually described on manual books, study books, what's the correct English word, which address that topic or something around it, which at least acts as a basement for a more specialized topic. Well, the fact of being a researcher is problematic, and we can explain this frequent social discomfort that can pop up, and it's likely that it will sooner or later happen. Don't take this negatively. Is because in school, at whatever level, nothing is taught about how to be a researcher. Maybe in some optional university courses and so on in the last years of it, for those who have come that far in academic studies, maybe there may be some little additional course, optional, whatever, on how to be a researcher, what is it like, but without trying to cast any negative light on it, at the age when one comes there, it's already too late. And this is not to state something negative, you'll be very careful, but the problem is that even if there had been 10 courses on how to be a researcher of a certain tier, the heavier, the better. In these fields with which we are concerned, but also others, it's just too late. It's because being a heavy tier researcher is so complex, it's not able to just prepare a person with some basic topics and just then assemble, like with pieces of technical Lego or pieces of mechano. A researcher, we take this knowledge, that, and we construct a researcher, or we construct an individual being occupied with those topics in an industrial environment, or that we construct an engineer, or no, it doesn't work. It's a complex thing. And in fact, those who become researchers, whether or not they have achieved this or that level and time of academic studies, it's a course which, in the case of most researchers, just spontaneously developed out, and sometimes in a also very painful way, and going through also very heavy social problems. We'll address that later. So, social problems can happen because there is no. It's how to become a researcher, how to be it, is not well considered, if at all considered, let alone a well considered, well outlined topic. And besides that, it's also, even if there had been courses on it in this or that level of school, better if at all levels, but whatever. It's not a topic which is actually scientifically addressable. It's not scientifically integrable. While here is also a paradox that researchers in these fields are concerned with developing and finding out, or however we want to call it, new frontiers in exact sciences, applied exact sciences, or whatever, even fun things. But it's always about things that are scientifically investigable or scientifically integrable. So here is a paradox. But it's men who do the science. It's a human activity, and so some men have to end up as researchers. And I'm trying to advise that there may be socially uncomfortable situations they're having from this, but just don't get pessimistic. This is the way it happens. Some people have to be researchers. There are an infinity of ways to go about it. Even if I think I know, I have some more than average idea of what infinite does mean, but let's say so thousands of ways to go about it. We are just discussing it. Try to be positive, or just positive about when you don't feel like being a researcher or becoming it. Okay, let's go on. I have tried to outline a bit in a fussy manner so far. It's frequent from as young as one is a child, elementary school, compulsory school. If one has a strong drive to become later on, the sooner the better, heavy researcher, usually in these people there are some driving forces acting which lead to a situation which I could now describe, but let's describe it philosophically and then just go to the next point and quickly end the video. Can have this problem of having maybe a social life, going out with friends, with people, playing together from this or that to video games, going out, going by bicycle, playing here, all lots of cool things, but still having a sensation of being lonely, and having some very strong passions, for example, towards that just some specific kinds of video games, or those who already are lucky and have started so soon, some developing some computer software, or can share their interest in how do certain electronic devices work, or how lots of trying to understand some lots of things, and they it can happen to have this very strong interests, some very strong hobbies that could be also airplane modeling or whatever, or desire to construct from zero, for example, a remote control car, which is after all not even so complex. These are all beautiful things, but feeling lonely because this boy was unable to find anyone with whom to share his passions, which may be very strong passions. Or that's the only word I know for it. These are human factors, so I can't use in proper language. I can't write a formula. I can give you x epsilon coordinates with a scarf of precision, uncertainty, whatever. But also using languages, It's necessary, it's a human activity, but also science. Here I can do better, but I try to outline it. I went through this too very badly. So this, I have dealt it. Let's go to the next point. This can happen. Just don't take it too tragically. You want to hear a story about this? When I was a child, and I disassembled an old powder absorber, and I took out the electrical engine from it, electric motor, how is it called? And I said, this is a beautiful device, but I don't know how to use it. And I told to my father, listen, this must be good. When I'll be like 24 years of age, I may be using this. And he said to me, listen to this, just, but don't die of infarct, please. He said to me, when you'll be 24 years old, you'll just be running behind women. And I thought that, but you cannot be certain about it. And so it didn't happen. Now I understand perfectly how that engine works in the new hardcore video gamer stories. I've also been speaking about electromechanical systems, what kind of background can, simply learnable background can make electromechanical systems and their simulation really an enthusiastic thing. Look, it just, when people comment things, and you just don't breathe it too deeply, because it can remake great damage, and that's not good. Just with moderation. Another thing is, when one already is in heavy research, is doing it, because there isn't a when we start. Already, when one has that orientation, is good if already at like from between 13 and 16 years of age, one is already driving at something and is experimenting and doubting is that the only method? Is that really the best? What is? And if one starts to speak about it, it can happen that others make fun of him. And this can hurt very badly, because one of the problems of being a heavy tier researcher, that a lot of mental sensitivity is needed. Something I have outlined, and the reason for it in the part 1. This is a problem. I can say it can happen. We are discussing the topic. It can happen. Just try to not take it too seriously, because otherwise it may make too much damage. So people can complain verbally or also factually because of this, because Honesty says, listen, I had this idea, I think that could be experimented, I had that, and some people may hurt verbally very badly, up to saying that that certain guy is schizophrenic or some other really offensive comments. So one has to be, and here we come to the last point, after which this video will end, is that one of the absolutely necessary requirements, unfortunately, but maybe fortunately, I don't know, I'm not here to judge. One of the main requirements of a heavy tier researcher in these fields, in these exact sciences fields with which we are concerned mainly, but not only, this generalizes to whatever one is able to correctly generalize it. One of the requirements is that one needs to be a manly man, because otherwise these verbal and factual offenses, misunderstanding and so on, can just destroy one's soul as well as body, and impede this is prevent reaching the best contribution, which can be whatever. It depends on many things, but it can be great. It can be gratifying, even if one at the end is and it remains in the condition of not having been really able to share the passion for these discoveries and the joy of the very discoveries itself with somebody else. There could be other things to say, to be said, but this discussion, which is very generic, which was intended so, ends here. Hope you enjoyed it. Consider, don't forget what I had outlined in the preamble in this second video. This was Simon, alias the nerd of algorithms, and well, here it ends. Bye bye. Good luck for those who are already heavy researchers but in these fields but want to it even better, and those who are considering to become or are at some stage of really being in business in that field, that kind of human